Views and opinions expressed on the following program are those of the hosts and guests, and not necessarily those of the staff or management of alltalkradio.net.
Standing at the door, looking back at life as it's been before, holding on to things that might have been, knowing that this day will never come again, as my spirit's guiding me to a place where I am free to be all that I can be. Here I am in stories that I know, feeling safe yet yearning to go.
And welcome to Synchronicity and Your Life. I'm Jane McGuire.
And it's your birthday.
It's a day after my birthday.
Well,
but
you don't tell them that. Now you're a day older.
Well, hopefully a day wiser.
Yeah.
And my co-host today is
Elena
as
Risto.
usual, right?
As usual,
Elena Risto.
Yeah. Sometimes it's Cozy Meyer,
right.
But today it's, yeah. Mm-hmm.
And she might be popping in later today.
Yep.
So before we get started, obviously the news has been trending with Robin Williams, and I just want to say that I offer my prayers and thoughts over to the Williams family and to everything that they're going through. But I have to say that he is definitely, his gift obviously was making all of us laugh.
And that's one of the big things that we need, especially with everything that's going on around the world. Because the tendency is we start worrying about what we can't be in control of, and there's a whole lot to not be in control of right now.
Exactly.
And so laughter, when you're truly laughing, it's really hard not to be in the moment. And that's where we need to be.
And he was such a comic genius, but he was so good at getting involved with his characters.
Right.
And so good at improv. He had such a quick wit. But his gift is not just giving us this whole panoramic view of Mork and Mindy and Good Will Hunting and all of that. It's also the fact that he raised awareness by his very act of suicide. And my belief is that he's allowing people and giving people permission to talk about this without the shame and without the guilt, and to approach this act, or people being suicidal with
compassion.
With honor and compassion, and letting people know it's okay to talk about it.
It is okay to talk about it. I think it was his final choice, obviously, in this life. But I have to agree that in shamanic terms, especially in the northern shamanic terms, that was not considered the moral taboo that some of our cultural situations put on it.
Right.
But in northern shamanism, in side is what they call it. One of the spirits that we look at in the mythology was Freya, and she and Odin had a great hall. Now, understand, I'm not saying these are living beings. I'm just saying this is representations of energy. So she had a great hall, and in that great hall, she had a place where she honored people who had done what Robin did. Not for the act, but for the courage of their choice of what they had to do.
Right.
So it's not endorsing it. I mean, hopefully people can find another option, because obviously it's another one of those situations of gone too soon.
Right. Oh, completely gone too soon. Yeah. And it also, though, I think the stigma of it needs to be removed from society.
Exactly.
Because it's not just about how he suffered in this life, but it's about what his family's going to go through. And, we've talked about this in recent weeks. They go back and they analyze, and they what could I have done differently, and all that stuff. There are some people that are suicidal that never talk about it.
Right. Well, and obviously in the way it appears to have come down, nobody had a clue.
Right, because again, he didn't talk about it.
He didn't talk about it, although he was said he was suffering with severe depression. I don't want to stay too much on this. 'Cause
Right,
we can
exactly.
we can put another show together about this, but
Right.
I think it's good to honor Robin for all the work that he did with all the
Absolutely.
veterans. He was every story you hear, he was always coming. He was the first one there to help people.
Mm-hmm.
You know, he helped Christopher Reeves
Yes.
after his accident, and Christopher Reeves was his roommate when he went to Juilliard.
And not a lot of
together.
people understand that he went to Juilliard and was classically trained.
Right.
And the USO put out a statement today saying that he would travel all over the world, like Bob Hope did, with the USO and do these shows that would help the guys laugh and the women laugh when they were in
Right.
in harm's way. And so I think it's very fitting that for those people that are suffering from depression to really take a look at laughing.
Right.
And really that's his gift.
Yep.
You know, look at, and you know, people can Google laughter therapy. It's definitely around.
Oh, heck, put a funny movie on.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So I just, you know, we both decided before the show we wanted to honor that.
Yeah.
And just put it out there that we really wish the Williams family and all of those affected by this grace. We wish them healing and peace.
Yeah, and compassion, a lot
Absolutely.
of compassion towards them. And those
Yeah.
of you that have suffered with someone or you know someone who has lost someone in this manner, send them a lot of light.
Absolutely. And
a lot of light.
And as is seen with other people, other famous celebrities, when they have such a bright light, it gets to a point where you burn out. And then you go. I mean, the same thing can be said of Princess Diana. Her light burned out, and she burned out young. So there's just a lot of that. They just decide it's time to leave this planet.
Or they
Yeah.
believe that that's the best choice for them.
Yeah.
See, that's the problem.
Yeah.
Is a lot of times they see it's their only choice.
Exactly, and it's not.
And
it's
it's
not.
not.
And
It's
so
not.
anybody facing that tonight, we would encourage you to reach out to a spiritual person in your world or a family member, a friend, or the suicide prevention hotline, all of that. We would encourage you to reach out and seek that help. There's absolutely no shame, and it takes a lot of courage to face those things and heal from them and let them go.
Yeah, it does.
Yeah.
I've suffered with depression in my
Yeah.
life. There was about 10 years there where I was considered clinically depressed and on medication, and look at me now.
I know, right. Very happy and a singer-songwriter and all
Yeah,
that.
yeah,
And
yeah.
again, before we launch into this, I do want to say that after the show, Lainey Risto and I will be supporting her. We are heading over to U.S. Vets on Bonanza and Las Vegas Boulevard, and this is going to be a drum circle. So if you're a veteran or you're in active military and you don't have anything to do tonight, at 8 o'clock, come over to U.S. Vets, bang some drums, play some tambourines, and guess what? You don't have to be musically talented. I get to do this, and I can't play instruments.
And I always give a 2-second drum lesson.
Right. If you know how to bang something, and I'm pretty sure that most veterans, have
Okay,
some
I'm
kind
not
of
gonna
training.
touch that line, 'cause then I just
have
watched
some
George
kind of
over
training
here,
in
so
hitting
his
things.
mind went where mine did. And I'm going, all right.
And there we go, right into comedy. So his
What? I didn't
Lady
say
and Jane
anything.
show.
I didn't
So-
say anything.
But they learn how to just hit things and destroy things.
I think we just stopped.
Right.
now.
I'll just cut this out. So what we're doing for the show today is
It's your show.
It's my show.
Yeah.
Here I am.
So, yeah, no kidding. I should have had you sing the song.
No. We wouldn't have any listeners.
Yeah.
They'll be going,
yeah.
no. Who's this woman?
So it's happy birthday to Jane, which actually it was yesterday. But I have
Yes.
this belief. How did you spend yesterday?
Yesterday I spent part of the day at
you need to
home.
back up a bit. You're blowing my eardrum out.
sorry.
A little more.
Okay.
There.
Oh, there's George taking pictures.
Yeah.
So yesterday I spent part of the day with my kids, and we went out to lunch and had a really good time. And then I had a friend come over later in the night and spent some time with her. And then I went to bed.
So you pretty much just enjoyed the day.
I did. I had a great day.
So
had
I
a
have this
wonderful day.
belief that whatever I do on my birthday sets the tone for the year.
Yeah.
So you ought to have a really good year going.
I feel
You're going to eat out a lot.
Yeah, right. And it's amazing the changes that I'm really looking forward to. Let's mention the full moon. The full moon
yeah,
on
let's
my
talk about
birthday.
The full moon, yeah.
And you had some pictures up, and I got a picture the night before. But this was a full moon, a super moon, and it was really powerful.
Well, and not only that, but the moon is we're in the sign of Leo. The sun side of Leo.
Yay!
Yeah, we know what you are. So we're in the sign of Leo, and the moon, it's an Aquarian moon, which in an astrological chart, Aquarius is a opposite of Leo.
And both of my kids are Aquarians.
I can believe that.
Yeah.
Anyway, that must be a real airy
Fire and water,
household.
right?
Yeah,
Right.
No, not kidding. So anyway, so what happens with this, besides the fact that it's a supermoon, and what a supermoon means, everybody's always asking me, in astronomy, it means the orbit of the moon. It's on its orbit. It's at its closest point to the Earth. And this is the second of 3 supermoons this summer.
Yeah. So
The first one was in July. The next one was now.
Right.
And then there's one in September. And then in October, we have a blood moon.
the blood moon.
So it's like a building of energy.
Yep.
You know,
And that blood
happens.
moon happens, believe it or not, on a Tuesday night.
I thought it was on the weekend.
No, well, we'll have to check our calendar
We'll look
again
and
at break,
see.
right? Whenever we take one.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
So what happens with this moon, because the energy of it being a supermoon in energetic terms, and also the fact that the sun is there in Leo, it's pushing it. It's pushing the energy of it. So the other night, Sunday afternoon, the moon went full Sunday morning, and on Sunday afternoon at 4 o'clock, I had a 2-hour workshop.
Yeah.
It was an Aquarian moon ceremony. And what we did it was about finding those things in our life that we need to let go of, not just letting go. Because when you tell people, well, why don't you just let go? Well, fine. Of what?
Yeah.
Right? So what this was specifically was letting go of things whose purpose doesn't serve you anymore.
Yes.
It's outgrown its purpose.
Yeah.
So we did that, and they made, in shamanic terms, I had them make, we make kind of shamanic art. I bring along some sticks. The dog and I go find sticks, and I bring tissue paper, and you've done that
Yes.
with me, right?
Yes.
So they made, it's not a representation of what they're letting go. They're actually thinking about it while they make it, and it becomes the thing.
Because the energy gets transferred
It
to
gets
it.
transferred.
Yeah.
And then what we did is we did a ceremony where we asked that the energy, we're grateful for whatever purpose it brought us, and the energy of that, and we did a ceremony about transforming it through fire because of the Leo moon. And then later that night, that picture that you saw I
I
put on Facebook,
loved
that
it.
was perfect the way
Yeah.
that lined up. I took a picture of the embers because I did a fire ceremony with Roxy, my dog, in the backyard. And
She must have gone nuts.
oh, she doesn't know what I'm doing. She
Yeah.
just goes, oh, she's crazy again, you know. But anyway, we did this ceremony, and we released the energy of that to what we call our grandmother moon. And it opened. What happens is it opens, and we followed it. Oh, there she is. We followed it with another part of the ceremony where we actually bring in energy to fill in those spaces where we've let go.
Yeah, because
You can't just let this stuff go. Now it's like you got an empty closet. You got to fill something.
and
fill
that
something up with
right.
it, you know.
And that's
Hi,
in,
Miss Cozy.
that's in keeping with
Uh-oh, she's
pranic
coming in.
healing.
She's
Oh,
coming
here
in.
we go.
Happy birthday.
Thank
Happy
you.
birthday to you.
So, she's going to massage me during the show. Oh my God.
You're coming back, right? On my birthday.
In September.
September, yeah.
So what we're doing today is we are taking phone calls. The number is 702-609-7626. And if you don't have a regular phone, you can also Skype in. So you want to go into Skype and in the search bar, type in All Talk Radio, and you can call in there as well. It is, I believe, one caller at a time, right?
Yeah.
So what we're going to do is, I'm loving this massage.
Just don't stop her lips from moving,
Right.
all right?
So if you have a question and you would like some angelic advice or a different perspective on something that you're facing in your life, my gift would be to do that for you. So, but there is a caveat. What's the caveat? What do they have to do?
They have to wish you happy birthday.
Have to wish me happy. And I
Yeah.
had so many posts on my wall
I
yesterday.
know. That's what Facebook is good for
Yeah.
these days. You know.
Yeah.
Those of you that feel alone on your birthday, just sign up on Facebook.
Right.
You won't feel alone
Right.
anymore, right, George?
Right. Right. Exactly. Sign up and you won't be alone.
No.
Yeah.
No.
Happy birthday.
Thank you. Oh, that felt wonderful. So I should say that our friend Cozy Myers here, she does orthobionomy, and I've actually been referring some of my clients to you. And referring people to what you do in other states so that they can find somebody that does orthobionomy in other states
Yes.
as well.
She's not talking about states of consciousness. She's talking about physical
The physical
states. You know?
states.
Yeah.
Although orthobionomy can take you to other states of consciousness
Oh,
as
it
well.
can. Yeah, it can. Yeah.
So, Miss Cozy, do you have a question you want answered? Because you can see the phones are lit up.
Everybody burned out on your birthday. That's good. You can tell what kind of mood we're in today. Yeah.
Well, yeah.
A birthday kind of mood.
A birthday
Yeah,
kind
birthday
of
kind of mood,
celebrate.
yeah.
Yeah, because you're next. You're next, Miss Lane.
I get to ask?
Well, or Miss Cozy, but your birthday's next.
That's true.
When's your birthday, Lane?
September 2nd.
Yeah.
Believe it or not, I'm a Virgo.
Yeah,
I do believe that.
Well, that was like in stereo.
Yeah, it was in sync.
It's kind of underlying. You do have the boxes,
Yeah, well, yeah.
but you don't stay there.
Mm-mm.
See, that I see it because I want the boxes,
Uh-huh.
and I just kind of flow. So when I get a box I could play in, it didn't sound like that.
So was that, what kind of sandbox is that?
Yeah, I was going to say, that sounded like a sandbox to me.
So again, if you have a question that you want answered intuitively, I can say this. I can give an answer, and maybe Miss Laney can also give an answer, or Miss Cozy too. The number is 702-609-7626. I know some of you out there know that we were going to do this tonight. So I don't know why the phones aren't lit up. Maybe we need to just, put some energy
You
into
have birthday friends, and that's it.
I know,
Birthday
right?
day friends.
Right. And guess what? We'll put it this way, too. You do not have to give your name. If you want
No,
to call
no,
in
no,
and
no,
be
no.
anonymous, you can be anonymous. Just tell me that
And if
you're
we
going to
know
be
you, we
anonymous.
won't say.
Right.
I do have to say that when I called you yesterday morning,
Oh,
What did she ask you early?
Yeah,
it
I
was-
did.
Yeah. No, but it was a good question, though.
I actually did exactly what I had asked you about, and it was like, okay, I canceled my one client.
Yeah.
I called the owner of the business and says, I know it sounds nuts, but I didn't sign it yet. I have to wait until tomorrow morning to sign
Right.
the contract. Can we do that tomorrow? She's like, you do realize that the rent has to be paid every Monday on time, right? No matter what day. And I went, yeah, but I just wanted this to be just perfect.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I started my office this morning at 8:30 this morning. I dropped my contract off because we had that much time between midnight and 9 a.m. to do that. And then a good time would have been next Sunday. And I'm all like this.
That's
no,
not going to
no,
work. Yeah.
no." She was really nice about it.
Oh, wonderful.
You act so shocked.
Well, I'm not shocked. It's just, you know how I do with the astrology. So once in a while I get those people that just really look up in their eyes like, and other times I get people like, okay.
Yeah.
So I never know what I'm going to get when I'm operating from that map.
Okay.
Okay, so sometimes people are
So
very
s-
open, and other times people are like, whatever, and other people are like,
So now that that piece is done, do you have question part 2?
well, I don't know. I mean, just if the angels are saying anything wonderful about this or not.
It's part of this is I'm seeing your business card, and I'm seeing the word update. So there's things, and I know this is a message for me too. And
Here's the mirror.
right. And so you've got the new address on your business cards already? Okay.
No. I haven't gotten the new business cards. I've had, I don't know what's going on, but I had a series of mishaps with finances. So I had to wait for a minute.
Okay.
So I have all my old business cards still, but I do have works for all the new ones. So
Okay,
the more
good.
clients that wants to come in,
Yep.
and I am offering a special for the grand opening.
Oh,
When
do
is
tell
the
us.
grand
Yes.
opening?
Yes.
Well, it was yesterday, but I had to postpone it.
Okay.
Because it was the
Because it wasn't a good day to earn money. So when is the next grand opening? We'd like to get this scoop.
Actually, what is this? Just a special is just fine.
Okay.
I'm running 2 for $99, 2 hours for $99.
Oh my gosh.
That is a good price. If any of you have ever gotten a massage in Las Vegas, that is quite the deal.
It is.
Yeah.
And that's what I'm doing right now to boost it all up because I kind of disappeared.
Disappeared?
Disappeared?
You hibernated there for a bit.
I know.
Oh,
I'm
I've
making-
never
I'm
done that.
Never.
Right. Okay.
July's not on my calendar.
Right. You weren't here.
I wasn't here.
You were on the phone in July. I was.
July is the opposite side of December as far as hibernation time. If you're in the cold climate, you hibernate in December and January. If you're in the hot climate, you hibernate in July and August.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
so the other thing that you do also is the holistic Toastmasters.
Yes.
And so part of this is for you inviting the people from Holistic Toastmasters to experience what you do. And I'm seeing you give out business cards to them and saying, this is part of what we do is we promote each other. And part of the other thing is there is letting go of some old stuff, right? But and I really, really feel like you're close. You're really close to letting go of at least 2 or 3 root issues. I'm seeing this much left to let go of. and fully embrace this. Plus, there's a lot of other changes coming in for you. You've got a lot of angels around you, a lot. And
Who knew? Huh?
And but one of the things I'm seeing, and this is one of the symbols they've given me over the years, is one of them's doing this, which is kind of like ask them to bring the clients to you. Okay.
I kind of do that anyway.
I know, but you've got
specific,
one.
But you know what? You're right. But
you've got one angel that's sitting there is going, God, I wish she would ask me to work for her. You know.
That's very interesting. Nice mirror thing. I had a conversation with a friend of mine where I was just kind of like saying, try talking to your angels and telling them what you really want.
Yep.
Because, well, I've talked to the people. I said, no, the angels.
So they already gave you this message.
And I was giving it to her, and she goes, and then got upset.
Right.
And I'm all like, okay, I just backed off, but maybe I'm not asking the right ones.
Right. Well, the way I've told people in the past is to imagine that you've got a council sitting at your dining room table of really bored angels. and and they're sitting there with, their hands in the wings, and they're sitting there, yada, yada, yada. What's she going to do? You've got to talk to them and say, okay, you go get me clients. You fix my car. It'd be nice if they could come in and vacuum, But they don't do that. So
Neither do I.
Archangel Michael does, by the way. But really just work with them a lot more and be present with them, because you have a lot of them around you.
Okay.
So
I don't doubt that, because I get the chills constantly with certain things.
Oh, and that's a really, really good point that you brought up. A lot of people don't understand how we get confirmation. And confirmation comes in many forms for many people. In one form is goosebumps. Why we named it after a bird, I don't know.
Chicken skin, goosebumps, all about the same thing.
I like goosebumps better.
Yeah, right? Right.
Chicken.
I mean, and that was one of the reasons I didn't think I had any intuition for so long, because I just got chills, and I thought didn't mean anything.
Right.
It was
it
cold
does.
in the room.
It does.
Yeah, now I know.
Yeah.
When you get the chills and it's 120 degree outside, it's not.
Oh, there were
the
times
cold.
I'd get the chills and it would be 120. I'd be wrapped up in blankets and all that, and now I finally understand it. But the chills are different from goosebumps. The chills can be the hair on the back of your neck. Okay, this is a situation that I need to be aware of. Kind of thing. But you know what? I guess this is an intuition class, because nobody's calling. I'm not loved.
Yeah,
Enough.
You are.
Having a reaction, are you?
I know, right? Oh, we got to change that thought pattern.
Yeah. That's all right. We're
So
all
the
right.
number again is 702 609
Why don't you
7626.
just give me a marker and I'll put it on your forehead. I'll write backwards.
Right?
So she can see it when
So she can see it, when she
Yeah.
gets on the thing.
Oh, there's the marker. George is giving the marker.
Wow, look at that tiny little thing.
I know,
That's
right?
Pretty cool.
It is actually amazing how school
Yeah,
supplies
yeah.
have changed over the years.
So the other thing is that one of the things shamanically is that one of the ways to honor spirit is to ask.
Mm-hmm.
That's what they because people are always saying, well, how do I honor spirit? And they're there to be asked. If you don't ask them, it's kind of like nobody calling in on your
can't.
birthday,
That's right. That's exactly right. Nobody's calling and asking.
Yeah.
Well, then I feel better in some aspects, because I have friends that do the talking, and I come and ask, and sometimes I feel like I'm burdened. It's a burden, and it's like, I guess maybe not. It just clarity.
But this is also a huge step for you.
It's a
Coming,
job.
you came on in July when Lainey was out of town.
Yep.
And that was a huge step for you. I'd been trying to get you on the radio for a couple years.
Well, yeah.
I should leave more often.
No,
No,
we
it's a lot of fun. I'm enjoying this a lot.
Right.
No, but it does go back to when you did try for many times, and it was like,
So what's different?
what's different?
Uh-huh. It's going to be good.
I know. I already heard the answer.
Uh-huh.
The Toastmaster stuff.
Yeah.
It's given me a lot more confidence just to do this.
That's what it is. It's confidence. It's branching out into something you've never done
It's knowing
before.
you can do it.
It's
Yeah.
flexing a muscle that's not really a muscle.
Exactly
Toastmasters
right.
is a tool
Yeah.
that you worked on your personality with.
Right. Well, okay. Oops. Interestingly enough, I've recently come up with this cool analogy. So who has ever done Boy Scouts or Girl Scouts?
I did Girl Scouts.
Okay, so
I tried brownies, but they threw me out.
That's because they were laced with pot.
I just have this problem with organization,
well, and I was a Boy Scout more than I was a Girl Scout between
I can
having
see that.
yeah.
between having a babysitter that had sons, so we used to get tagged
Sure.
along, and then as having my own sons, I was a leader, so got to be more of a Boy Scout. But as an adult, looking at it, I was like, well, I really want to be that scout. Toastmasters, oddly enough, reminds me of Girl Scouts and
That's
Boy
a good
Scouts.
connection.
It is.
Because you get recognized for everything you do. It doesn't matter. It's like, oh, you spoke today. Yay, let's give you a ribbon. And it's really genuine because we all want to feel that goodness inside. So for me, I mean, so I gave a guy the other day, because I'm the president of the Holistic Toastmasters, his first badge. And it has the designation of CC, which is a competent communicator. That means he's done 10 speeches in front of us, and he's gotten up there 10 times and gave 10 different speeches. And I called it rank because in some ways it is.
It's not an easy thing. A lot of people have a fear of public speaking, you know, and so to get into Holistic Toastmasters is probably very transforming for him. Obviously, you and I don't have a problem getting in front of a microphone. Right, well, you've only been singing for a few years now.
Actually, interestingly enough, I'm more comfortable with a mic in my hand. I can sing in front of 5,000 people and not even flick an eye, you know. But give me a mic in front of somebody, says talk about this, and I find that all of a sudden I've got butterflies. You know, so it just depends where it is. But I get over it real quick. But
I was going to say, but butterflies are
I don't have any
transformation
problem.
too, though.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. After a while, you
Yeah.
can get them to fly in formation, and it's not so bad. They still flutter a lot.
Butterfly formation.
Well,
Let's give that to the Air Force.
I used that as my invocation for the first year. Every time I was asked to do invocation was let the butterflies fly in formation. It's saying that it doesn't matter, and acknowledging that we each have them because we have a fear going on, and it's okay to have that.
Yeah.
But let's get it organized and used in a fashion that works for us and not one that disables us. And I thought that was just, you know, for me, it's all about that every time is getting up there and going, okay.
Right, but look at what it's done for you. You've come along in the 2.5 years I've known you, and you've gotten more outspoken. You've come into your own as a healer, and you're continuing to learn more and see how all these different things tie together, because they do. You know?
They do tie together.
They do.
They do. And just as a segue, I mean, you keep talking about it. I am having an open house at Naturally Organic with the Holistic Toastmasters September 8th.
September 8th. Okay.
And it's from 10:30 to 12:30. And there will be laughter meditation by some friends of ours.
Oh, good. Very important.
Sherry
and Janie.
Yes, they're going to come and do that. I invite you guys to come on down.
Yeah, they need something to laugh at, apparently.
No, but it's on Mondays. And I mean, it's like,
Okay.
honestly, there's a whole group of us that don't have a lot of work to do on Mondays.
Yeah.
I know there's a whole group of us that do, but it's Las Vegas.
It just depends upon my client base, but yeah, we can absolutely do that.
Come on by and
Yeah.
say hi.
It's in the morning, right?
Yeah.
And
11.
it's past the really, really early part.
So for
You
the
mean like
people
10?
so for the people in Las Vegas, let's get this grand opening out there.
Yeah.
So the grand opening is at Naturally Organic.
No, that's
That's the Holistic Toastmasters.
open house.
Okay.
That's the open house.
Okay, I'm confused. So it's open house for Holistic Toastmasters.
Yes,
And
September
your-
8th
And your grand opening of your new place to work with clients
is now.
is
It's
right
kinda-
now.
Is now. It's this whole month.
And
Oh,
it is
cool.
at the Longford Plaza on Buffalo and Summerlin Parkway.
Correct.
And if people want to get in touch with you and get an appointment, how do they do that?
702-327-9082.
Or you can send her a funny text on that too.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. And then there's a website?
Yes. Cozy Meyer, LMT, as in licensed massage therapist. There you go.
Good. Oh.
I can't hear myself at all now.
Uh-oh.
All I did was move. Oh, that was you.
There we
George,
go,
what have you done
adjusting
to
the
me?
volume again.
No. That's what. This is 2, right? That's 2. That's the one I moved. That's
Okay,
cozy.
George, we need your help here. See, now she's just pulling the string. She's just yanking the chain.
I'm not sure if she's
It's
connected.
coming around. Oh, I'm connected. Yeah, it's this one.
Okay, there we go.
I am
Now
connected.
we've
You have no idea how I'm connected.
We've done
That's why it was funny.
right. So, Elena, let me ask you, what do you see around Cozy?
Well, that's a bad question to ask me because I don't see squat.
Okay,
You know
so
that,
what message do you get for her?
Wow, it looks like you've been through a hallway.
Mm-hmm.
You've just gone through some double doors.
Something.
It's new. The reason it feels so uncomfortable, because it is new. That's what happens. That's when we go through transition and we feel that this is really not comfortable. It's because it's new ground. We just don't know how to operate here. It was easier when things were all mucked up and we'd been doing it for a long time and we knew how to do it.
Yeah.
You know. But then when you let go of that and you step into new floor space and that's where you are. That's why it feels uncomfortable.
I kind of was feeling a little bit of that this morning as I just finished signing some things at 7:30 like I had found out I needed to.
Mm-hmm.
And Joe, my husband, spilled his coffee all over the top of the contract.
And you had to get clear, right?
Had to print up a new contract.
No, I couldn't print up a new contract. We had to go now because I talked her into 8:30 in the morning, and he had to be dropped off, and I still had to be there. I got there in plenty of time.
Is he still alive?
Yes.
So that's energy. That's caffeine. That's energy going
Well,
into it.
actually, what it was is that I know that I recognized it as because I was not pushing, but coming through this change, that I was stirring things up around me, and he got caught up in that maelstrom of me needing to be there because of that short period of time.
Mm-hmm.
And I knew it was all perfect, but it was just, and I had to breathe at one, and then I tried to get gas.
Well,
Yeah, I love
sometimes
it
you
when
can eat
things
something and
ramp
it'll
up
give you
like
gas.
that. Yeah, they do. They
No,
get
no,
ramped
I
up.
don't mean gas in here. I literally kept putting the wrong information in
What
with
is
all
with
my
this show today?
potty humor.
Potty humor. Yeah.
You can't go wrong with
I think
it.
I think Robin Williams is having a lot of fun.
I think so. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it was
Yeah,
challenging.
It was a very challenging
challenging.
corridor this morning.
But that is what happens when we step into a new place, and then we don't want to move forward because we can't see where we're putting our foot down, but we could do it anyway.
And that's that leap of faith
It's that leap of faith
that we have to take all the time. Life is a leap of faith.
Yeah.
It just is, and if you stop leaping, you're going to get your feet stuck in the mud.
And sometimes our old fears are our old friends. We're real comfortable about not making money, even though we don't think we are because we don't make money, but we know how to be broke. We don't know how to fill the abundance.
Right. I've seen that happen.
Yeah.
And I've seen the changes with that. Like I said, I had an interesting mirror with a friend of mine last night, and it was interesting because I was like, okay, I get it now.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It's okay to have your story,
Yeah.
but if you stay there, it gets boring.
Yeah, that's the problem.
It does. It gets boring, and then you're sitting here, been there, done that before. Yeah.
I'm not. So it's like, when do you start? It's different questions, and for me, I'm keep looking for a different question if I not getting the answers I want. Because
Well-
I haven't asked the right question yet.
The thing,
Yes.
the thing about repeating the story, the first time you tell it, it's new. And then the more you tell it, the more comfortable you get with it. And then all of a sudden you start becoming the story in a bigger way.
And then it gets a groove in the record.
Yeah,
over
and then you get stuck.
yeah.
That's what can happen. So the trick is to recognize when you got emotion attached to it. Because if there's no emotion attached to it and it's just a story, it's no big deal. Tell it, don't tell it. But if you start to tell your story and somebody interrupts you and it was like, wait a minute, I was right in the middle of my story, Whoa, what's that? There's an emotion attached to it somehow.
Yeah.
And to me, that goes back to the video on YouTube, and I know I've shown it to you. It's not about the nail.
Oh, yeah.
How men and
Yeah.
women talk to each other, and how it's really hilarious. After the show, you'll have to bring it up on YouTube. It's hilarious. It's a 5-minute, if even that, video on a woman. I don't want to give the whole thing away.
No. Just go to YouTube and type in the nail.
It's not about the nail, and
It's
watch
not about
it.
the nail.
It is just the perfect dynamic of how there are miscommunications. It just but it is when there's an emotion attached to it. There's times when you have to look at that emotion and then back away from it.
Mm-hmm.
You know?
Or just recognize you have some emotion attached to it and just stop
Yeah.
and see where that goes.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of times if I'm in the middle of a story and I've got a reason I'm telling it that's not just about, there's an attachment to it. There's some kind of an emotion attached to it. If I stop it, I can feel it in my chest or I can feel it in my solar plexus of, whoa, wait a minute. I've got another reason I'm telling this other than Am I looking for
information.
sympathy? Am I
Right.
what am I doing? What have I attached to this? You know.
'Cause stories are great for information and to show parallel.
Well,
But when
and
we get so attached into them that we can't extricate ourselves from that.
yeah,
then-
shamans all over the world for years have taught with story.
Well, and it's
You
not
know,
just
so
shamans.
it's-
I mean, it's
yeah.
it's a lot of how folklore, into our own society. The storytelling is an art. There are people that tell stories for a living, and they
Right.
do it at libraries. There's, that's just the way it is.
Going back to
Yeah.
Toastmasters.
Yep.
That's a way that
So
stories
you're a
are told.
holistic storyteller.
It can be.
Yeah.
It's a way of getting that message out.
Yeah,
Those stories that need to come out of people, that way they don't get stuck inside of them.
yeah.
And then it actually serves a purpose.
And sometimes with a traumatic event, if you keep telling the story, because people keep asking, it's hard to move out of it, because there has to be, and this has been a recent lesson for me, to get onto the new chapter, you have to you have to finish the old one.
Or let it go.
Yeah.
Or just release it.
Yeah.
And just say it is what it was what it was. It is
Right.
what it is. And that's how it. Because I've noticed in the last few days, since that screw up I did in email, where I didn't. Yeah. So she doesn't know about it. So here's my story.
And you're sticking to it.
And I'm sticking to it. So Neptune Rising, which is the last CD I did, where there's a song
Right.
and there's 3 journeys, and I had been talking to an online presence. That's a place to go where you can get all of this music, and I'd been put in contact with the creative director and whatever, and I got an email back last January. Back from them, we'd been interacting a little bit, and I read it wrong. And it's what I thought I read was, I would love a CD of just Journey CD music. And my perception said, great, now I got to create more money. Now I got to make a whole CD, and this is time, and this is money, and on and on and on. Transitions happened. Life happens. I lost the email. I found it last week. That's not what it said. It said, I would be interested in doing a music journey CD with you. They're offering me an opportunity. And my fear covered it up for 7 months. Yeah. Yeah. So what I've noticed, and I have to be very careful when I'm telling this story, now that's about the cleanest I've told it so far, but I was so embarrassed with myself, beating myself up, that I would tell this story to get a laugh to make me look like an idiot. That was one of the ways I was judging myself.
Oh, wow.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's how that works. Because I couldn't believe I did something, but if we believe that time is everything, things happen in the right time, everything's a mixed bag, everything is, there's some bad stuff, good stuff, but is it really bad? No, not necessarily.
No, you know how I get weird about the astrology. Not weird.
Yeah. So tell me, what was
and-
retrograde in January?
Venus.
And
Everything.
Mars.
Everything.
And
Mars wasn't.
it was going retrograde.
Yeah.
In the beginning of the year, it was going retrograde, and it was
Yeah.
a longer period.
Yeah.
And starting anything new would have been disastrous.
Yeah. So that means it's going to go great now. I've sent him an email and apologized
Exactly.
profusely and just launched into the concept that I have and whatever. I haven't heard anything, so that's my question. When am I going to hear about it?
I'm seeing a 2 or a 3, so I just really feel like it's really, really close.
Okay.
And you should know something before the end of this week.
Yeah, I just want to see the thread going
Yeah,
again
yeah.
because I obviously dropped it. But
Right.
and about astrology, you're the only one I know that packs a book in her purse and looks at it for the days that when it's a good day to do things and when it's not. You do that on your own. I've heard people call up astrologers, call up psychics and say, but you are the only one I know that has a really good organization for that with a book. And I don't know how many times I've watched. That thing is dog-eared, isn't it?
I don't have a cover on it right now.
It is well loved. Why don't we promote the book? What's the name of it?
It's actually Madeline Gerwick's Polaris Business Guides,
Uh-huh.
and it deals a lot with business aspects, but that's just how she's looking at
Right.
it.
Right.
So it's not looking at your sign, and this is what's happening for your sign that
Right.
day. It's looking at where the moon is and where all the planets are and how they're affecting business.
Now, see,
And now
I
in the center of the book, it also talks about how to use it, which says a personal section. So it's not just business. So you can look at it and say, how does this stuff affect my life? So if you got a doctor's appointment, you don't want to go when the moon is in the full or it's in Scorpio. You don't want surgery ever done on that. And that's how come I got involved with it, is I found out there was a bad time to do medical procedures and go to doctors.
Was there a bad time or a better time?
There's actually a bad time.
Okay.
Okay, there is always better times for everything else, but there are some things inside of the astrology that you just don't want to mess with. A friend of mine died on the full moon and during Scorpio, and the way I understand the way her death went, and she didn't have a chance to begin with because it was a surgery that was done, she literally bled out of every orifice in her body, and it was during the full moon, so it meant the tide pulled, so basically...
Well, it definitely supported that, that's for sure.
Yeah.
Because, see, I have a little different viewpoint on astrology. My point of view, because I do as above, so below, as within, so without, outside of me is reflecting the inside of me. So I don't know how that works with the way you're talking, because I don't know. That's interesting.
I always look at astrology, and I tell people this. It's a map.
Yeah, it is a map. But it's a
doesn't
reflection. It's a mirror.
There you go.
Okay.
But it's a map, too. It's going to tell you this terrain is going to be up and down. It doesn't tell you how hot it's going to be, how cold it's going to be. If you have to move to the right or the left of the path because something's in your way, it doesn't give you the details of your life. All it does is just give you kind of like following the stars. So you know which direction maybe or maybe not to go.
What I find is I don't pay much attention to Mercury retrograde because it does that, half a dozen times a year?
Once a quarter.
Three, something like that.
3 times a year.
Yeah. So what I have found for me, is that I'm better to watch the moon. It's better for me to watch the moon. Part of it is that I am a Virgo, but I got a lot of water in my sign too. So the moon is always governs everything with water. It's attached to that. So now when the moon is going to be, it's going to start waning now. I think
Today?
Today?
Yeah, it's already been in waning because it came full 10 a.m. Sunday morning.
Yeah. Sunday morning. So
we're very much on the waning side of it
now.
So
now this period of time, for me, is a really good time to really let go of things that don't serve me anymore.
Yeah.
And when it goes new, then I've noticed that that's a good time for me to really push forward and get something.
And this
creative
also
going.
follows that.
Yeah.
So you can go through and actually see what is good to do during each of the different 3 or 4 days that the moon is in certain signs, and gives credit to full
Now,
and new and all that. So you have to really, each person has to find their own thing.
That's right. Yeah.
Okay, Mercury retrograde, everybody goes,
Yeah, they go crazy. On the week when it's retrograde, by the end of a week when it's been retrograde, if I have one more person that comes and says, "Oh God, that Mercury retrograde, I can't wait for it to turn," I'm going, "You're a victim to Mercury." I mean, this is,
But it also the positive
challenging.
side. The positive side to Mercury retrograde, though, is that whatever you're thinking, it will amplify. So if you're thinking positively and creating abundantly and all that stuff in a very high vibration, it's going to amplify that. The reverse is true, however. If you're depressed and you're all that, it's going to amplify that. The reason it would amplify that is so that you can heal from it and raise your own level, your own vibration.
because some of our greatest teachers are our enemies.
And
Some of our greatest learnings come out of a challenge.
And you talk about Mercury retrograde. What I have found with all of it is just an awareness.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's just an awareness.
Yeah.
Like I said, if you know that the rain is out, the clouds are out there, like right now, we have all these clouds.
Right.
Is it really going to rain? Do I really need to bring an umbrella and my scarf? If I know, Mercury's going in retrograde, I give myself longer time to get somewhere.
Exactly.
And I just book a few less clients.
Yeah.
People may have trouble showing up. That's all.
Yeah, and I tell people leave early for 15 minutes, leave 15 minutes early. It does affect traffic. It does affect communication. And so what I tell people is just, some people tend to talk backwards during that time. You've got to do a lot of forgiveness.
And it's also just things where it could possibly go wrong. It doesn't mean that, and people do this just like they get stuck in their story.
Yeah.
Okay, and it's just an awareness. If you're aware that it's going to be dark when you leave the building, you might grab a flashlight. Then again, you might just do like I've done and been aware of what's going to happen and just go ahead
anyway.
Do it anyway
Yeah.
and go ahead and learn. Yeah.
Exactly, because it's also for us to learn.
Yeah.
It's like, and you get this question all the time. I'm going to be in a relationship. Will it be good if I go into this relationship?
Yes.
When I journey to spirit and ask, is this person, if I were to ask that question, you know what they'd say? Sure, it's good. It's going to be good. Because to them, it's going to be good either way. It's going to be good if it's screwed up. You're going to learn from it. If it's good, it's going to be good.
But then you just get
there's
unscrewed
never any
up.
bad. Yeah.
And those are polarizations once again. I always like in between, good, bad, or indifferent. What's going to happen? Good, bad, or indifferent. And it really depends on which side of the coin you're looking from.
Yes.
I have a friend, and I don't know if she's listening now or not, and I obviously won't mention a name, but she's waiting for a piece of paper. She's got something that's got possible litigation attached to it. Okay, and she had to send a demand letter, and she called me up. She goes, "Is there a prayer circle or something that we can get so that this person will sign this and we're done with it?" Well, I can't do that kind of work. For me, that's a spiritual intrusion. That's not, I can't do that. So I told her, I did this journey for her, and I cracked up when I did it. So it came back, they kept showing me these birds eating birdseed and squirrels eating peanuts and all this stuff. And I said, "You're going to think I'm nuts, but you already think I'm nuts, so I'm safe, right?" So I said, "I want you to go to the store. I want you to buy some peanuts. You have squirrels in your backyard?" She goes, "Yeah." I said, "I want you to put a bowl of peanuts out there." And she goes, "Why?" And I said, "It's just trust me. This is what they're saying to do." And it's really about trusting yourself. But somehow we're going to learn from this. I'm not sure how it's going to show up. So I woke up to a text message this morning. She goes, "The craziest thing happened. I've been tracking this thing that she sent certified by the number. And it got delivered at 6:30 this morning. And about that time, she walked downstairs to get a cup of coffee. And for the first time, squirrels were eating out of the bowl."
Wow.
A bowl of peanuts. And then all of a sudden, I understood it. Because it was like, okay, so what's the squirrel's next step? And she goes, "I don't know. He's going to bury it or something." And I said, "The point is we don't know. He's going to make the best choice in the moment of what he needs to do. And we don't really know, so we don't really care, so we're not really attached to it. But this situation you've got going, you're attached to because you're attached to this outcome. If we can approach everything like that squirrel eating the peanuts, this is truly what it means when you say you can only trust somebody as much as you trust yourself. That's it. So if I trust myself in a situation of litigation, it's hard. I'm not saying it's easy. It's tough, If I trust myself that whenever I get the final information, I'm going to make the best choice I can, I'm going to do the best I can, then it takes me out of worry.
Anything that'll take people out of worry is a good thing. Yeah.
That's a good thing.
That's why once in a while I have to call friends like Jane.
She doesn't call me, she calls you.
But again, in my belief system, it would be a different thing. I would say pray for like divine resolution, that it would be resolved to your highest good in the easiest way possible.
And we did talk about that, but that didn't give her. She needed an action or something. I told her go feed squirrels.
Yeah, and you can light a candle, or we have. Oh, you're waving. We have 5 minutes. So nobody has called.
Well, I was going to tell you something, Jane, but now this is easier to tell you.
Okay, so tell me what you told everybody. Don't call because we're going to do a show on astrology.
No, you just got to trust this.
Right, because it's not about me. It's about what the universe wants. What? It's not about. It's about the nail.
No, it's about the nail.
Not about the nail.
No, it's it's all good. I got a good time.
Yeah, I have too.
Did you have a good time?
Yes.
Yeah,
And so once again, before our 5 minutes is up, Lainey and I want to extend the invitation to Cozy. Would you like to come to the drum circle tonight?
We're doing a drum circle at 8 o'clock.
Yeah, U.S. Vets.
She's got this glazed look
I know.
on her
I
face.
texted
I don't
it
know
to
what
you last week.
that is.
I know you did.
Yeah,
that's all right. It doesn't matter. We have a good time.
Yeah.
No. I'm just trying to think of what else. I don't think I have any.
Starts at 8 o'clock tonight. So if you are in the Las Vegas area or Clark County and you don't have anything to do tonight, come down to U.S. Vets on Las Vegas Boulevard and Bonanza. And it's going to be in the dining hall. And come bang a drum and a tambourine. And
it's on the northeast corner.
Yes, behind the 7-Eleven.
Behind the 7-Eleven, there's a little white building.
And so we are opening this to active military and veterans. If you really want to get rid of some stress, have some fun. And there are some really great health benefits to this. Some of the men report that they sleep better. Lainey sings, right?
We rock.
Yeah, you do.
You
rock.
We rock
right,
out,
right.
yeah.
We do.
Yeah. Well, the drums are very good for sleeping in general.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. And so that's going to be going on. And I guess I should say I'd love people to book a pranic healing appointment with me. You can reach me at pranicjane59@gmail.com and set up an appointment there. And let's see. Oh, we also need to promote our Facebook page.
Yes, Synchronicity and Your Life is on Facebook. And if you go and click on like, and we're going to be setting up a YouTube now that we have, if people haven't noticed, we grew up and George let us go to HD.
We are, so now they can see everything. We are in high definition.
We're in high def now. Yeah.
Yes.
So this is good. The other thing is we want to talk about Soul Sundays at the Meadows.
Oh, yes, that's
this
coming
Sunday.
up. Yep.
Jane did one there. Anna Dabrowski did one there. Hi. And this week it's Christina Long at 2900 South Valley View. It's the Meadows. It's a retirement community in their clubhouse. And she is a channel.
Yes,
She's
she
our
is.
own.
She's a very good
Instead of the
channel.
Long Island medium, we have the Las Vegas medium.
Yep.
Which I'm going to have a whole bunch of mediums mad at me now because there's a whole bunch in town.
Well,
But that's too bad.
We're all happy mediums.
Yeah, we're all happy mediums. Yeah. So anyway,
Better
yeah,
than
that's
being
from
short.
2 to 4, and she's going to do like an hour meditation and then do some channeling.
Good.
So that would be good to do. And I'm on the
Good.
24. I'm on the whatever the next one is.
Right.
28th. I'll be there doing a dream workshop. And I guess that's about it. But other than that, happy birthday, Jane.
Oh, thank you. Thank you.
2 or 3 days, huh?
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
I'm going to put that on my calendar.
Yep. And then yours is September
2nd.
2nd, so which happens to be a Tuesday, right?
Yes, I'll be on
See?
here.
Right?
So you're going to be so angry if somebody calls in.
No,
Wishes
I'm
me
not.
happy
No,
birthday.
no,
Okay.
no.
Remember that, George.
What I'm going to do is I'm going to send out a separate text so that you don't see it. I'm going to say,
see.
call in,
All right,
call in and
okay,
get some
all right.
shamanic advice.
You're going to get a whole bunch of calls out of this. And I was trying to call in and I couldn't do it.
Yeah.
Now I'll blame George. And
Oh, yeah,
it'll
we
be
can
all
blame
fine.
it. We
It'll
can
be
blame
fine.
it on early Mercury retrograde.
Yeah. So, one more time for all of you that think about Robin Williams, there's a lot of minds on the planet that are doing the same, and he's a happy guy.
Yes, he is. And I would say if you had to say anything, make sure to make somebody's life happy. And if you want to attract abundance into your life, make sure that people never know what's going to come out of your mouth.
Speaking of abundance, next week we're going to have a financial guy on here.
Oh, that's right. That's
It's going
exciting.
to be the financial wisdom and the spirit of money.
Healing
We're
your
connecting
relationship.
spiritual
Yeah.
with finances.
And we will take calls, but it's healing your relationship with money because it
Yes.
can be very twisted. And he's starting his business, and he's
Yeah.
very close to you.
Very close to me.
So you do call in next week with some questions for any of us that are going to be on the panel.
Or at least tune in,
Right,
and
or
get it. And we will archive this. We're going to
Yeah.
have it easier to
it'll
find.
be on YouTube. Oh,
on the
that's
net,
our
so-
cue.
So
That's our cue.
we're gone.
All right, so we want to thank everybody for listening. Like our Facebook page, and we're going to go out to Elena Risto singing "Here I Am."
See you, Cozy. Bye, Jane.
Bye.
Here I am, standing at the door, looking back at life as it's been before.